Yep, we're back. Bobby Manning, start making your comments now. He's got the fade.
You seeing Hayward? Is that going to be the comparison again?
It's going to happen.
It's like when Steve Urkel goes into the chamber and comes out as Stefan. Is that what we got here?
Hey, Bobby,
is that what we got here?
That, Bobby?
I miss
Bobby might be
Urkel.
into that reference. He might be.
No way. Bobby knows. Bobby knows Steve Urkel is a 35-year-old.
Jimmy nailed it. Yo,
Dude,
this is
Family Matters
Stefan.
was my jam, dude.
Bobby, this is
Stefan,
like
man. Laura about to come kicking that
storyline.
door down, looking for Stefan.
He comes out cool, Bobby. That's all you got to know.
That's all you gotta know.
So this is a tough one to put your finger on. I guess we could always play the make-miss league thing, which honestly,
come on.
I mean, what are you going to talk about here? Utah scored. I mean, look at the numbers from three.
They're a really good 3-point shooting team.
I know, but that's what happened.
Awesome.
Celtics went 10 of 29. They went 19 of 43. They got lit up a little bit. Other than that, Celtics didn't play an awful game. The easiest thing to say here is Utah's obviously a better team, so it's really hard to pick apart the Celtics when you what are they going to do? They lost to a better team. Done.
Sweet.
That's
what they do. They lose to better teams in them, which isn't really a good recipe for playoff basketball. So I mean, I guess this is who they are. I mean, Marcus Smart misses back-to-back threes. I guess one might have been a long two. If he hits one of those, the game might be different. I thought Jayson Tatum makes a nice move to the basket, blows by his defender, and then instead of going up for it, maybe drawing some contact and getting to the line, of which they didn't get to the line all night, kicks it out to Marcus Smart. Honestly, I'm not gonna hate on the decision because Marcus Smart was open. But in that situation, if I'm Tatum, I'm taking the ball and I'm putting it in my own hands, quite literally, and I'm putting the shot up. He was hot in that second half at points, and if he makes that basket, maybe this game ends differently. Instead, Smart misses it, Jazz go down, and they drain a three. I think it was Mitchell who drains a three right there in 6-point game, and then they hit another. Smart misses another one, and they hit another one, and that's your game.
The second three is what bothered me more. First three,
because it was a quick one, right?
Well, it wasn't just that. It was
the first three wasn't a three.
Your first three wasn't a three, but it was in the flow. It was in the flow. It was open. Marcus had plenty of time. That's fine. The second one bothered me more because there's no reason Tatum should have been even looking to that side of the floor. You can see it if you go back and you watch it. Okay, you've got Jaylen and Kemba on the right side of the floor, and Kemba was standing, completely on the other side of the floor, and as soon as he sees the ball go over, he just kind of his shoulders sink, and the shot goes up, and he's like, okay, I'm sure he's not going to throw a tantrum over it, but it's like, hey, scorers over here, they're both kind of over. It's a strange choice. I understand in the flow of a game, you whip it around, pass, defense rotates, you get it over to somebody for an open three. Look, those are great. This was he went looking for Smart on that. It was just a strange one. He just didn't even look to the right side of the court where he had better scorers and better options. Yeah. But, again, even if that one goes, there's still an uphill battle. I mean, Jazz put the foot on the gas there a little bit late. Celtics made a good run there late when Rob I'm not going to make this all about Rob again, but Rob came back in the game there. You had some really rough Grant minutes for a while as well. And they made that good push in the fourth. But then Utah just took it from him.
Yeah, and it's tough for me to tell whether it was that finishing stretch by Utah. Obviously, the fourth quarter, they dropped 40 points. They were dominant start to finish in that one. Celtics couldn't keep up with that. But I also think you mentioned Grant and Semi in the first half. Those minutes where those guys are in and it's just chipped away. You have 19 minutes of Semi, you have 17 minutes of Grant, and they do so little in those minutes that you just chip away, and the Jazz are able to stay in the game consistently, even though they didn't play all that well through three quarters, because of the fact that those guys just don't generate any offense, and it were largely empty minutes for both of them in either side of the half. And so this is the thing. We get away from double big, which wasn't working all that well, but the team doesn't have the personnel to run three wings either.
That's always been the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but then
is it the performance, or is it those throughout the floor of the game where every single team is able to stay in the game with these teams? It's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's sort of the down the stretch going to be the dilemma, right, for Brad Stevens against these sort of teams. But I thought that this was a great opportunity for Rob Williams to get that in-game action, that down to the wire, going up against the best team in the NBA, where the Celtics are trusting you in that stretch. And he did okay, but of course there were those shortcomings, whether it was that forced layup where he was right in front of the basket. It seemed like he was just hesitant. Gobert just sort of gave him that look, and he just kind of just threw it up there. The second one was almost the opposite, right? He forced it so hard that it almost didn't go in. He just cracked the backboard in that second one. And I just think those plays going to go a long way because he's always going to be wide open, but he's got to be obviously not as hesitant as he was in that first attempt. And then, of course, the crucial turnover, he's clearing the way for Tatum. That was a humongous call for them. When the Celtics lost that possession, I mean, Marcus Smart
can't stand the call.
That three down the stretch, I didn't like, of course, the second one because I feel like Marcus almost is like, all right, I get it, you're in the flow of the offense, but there was a minute and 55 seconds, I believe. Like you're in the 2 minutes here. The Utah Jazz, like possessions mean everything here. I just thought it was a bit careless.
And I don't do this often, but the Celtics did get nailed tonight, ref-wise. The Clarkson 3-point call, the screen. Again, we talked about this all year, John. What's that call? Yeah. I mean, come on. 90% of the time that's let go. So what are you calling
that one? That one's too obvious, Bobby. That one was a little too obvious.
The seal?
Yeah.
The seal was pretty obvious. I mean, he stuck his arms. I mean, he's a big dude. Make it a little less obvious.
Yeah, especially when Tatum took an extra step. Tatum put him on display because he took that extra step.
My God, Tatum, he's a friggin' 2-time All-Star, 3rd-team All-NBA, and he can't get he is damaged forever with the refs. He cannot get a call. Every 50-50.
If he sells it a little better, maybe he gets there.
Every 50-50 goes against him, man. The friggin'
3-point play, the last one.
The offensive foul, and granted, if he sticks his arm out a little bit, but oh Jesus,
they were on top of the Celtics tonight. I mean, Theis had a few touch fouls that they were just boom, and we expect that. Yeah. So you gotta defend without fouling, and that was a concern tonight too. They turned the ball over a ton on the offensive end, which kept the Jazz in. Its execution was certainly not sharp. Yep.
How many free throws did they shoot? Anybody want to guess?
None outside and ones, right?
Total free throws in the game.
Definitely single digits.
4.
Yeah, it was all and ones.
Oh, they got one late.
4.
Tatum definitely got one. That's the one I was thinking of. A few.
That's hard to do. I mean, and they didn't take a ton of 3-pointers tonight.
I think they went the whole game without a shooting foul outside of a make. So, yeah.
The offense was crisp, and a lot of that had to do with them getting stopped from the perimeter. Like, that first quarter, I mean, you knew it wasn't going to last, but the way they were defending the 3-point, I mean, it was incredible. I'm like, you don't see Utah, struggle that way, at least for that long stretch. It essentially seemed like the entire first half, and then came the second, and everything changed.
So, I don't know.